this playoff
Here
thing,
we go.
bro. Oh,
Get
oh, I do it every time.
we can never catch the live, can we, Patrick? Well, we'll work all that out. But as you can see, we have we're back. We're back together. I'm Charles. That's Patrick back with us after a week hiatus. And welcome to the Breath of Fresh Air webcast. So, Patrick, oh, before we start,
Okay.
make sure you smash the subscribe button on the Breath of Fresh Air YouTube channel and keep the likes coming on the Facebook page. Of course, any comments, any feedback you have, good, bad, or indifferent, don't matter. Just let us know, put it down, and we'll be sure to get back with you. So, Patrick, got a lot to cover on the show. Let's get to it. And let's start with Major League Baseball coming up with these new playoff proposals. So I know you got the computer monitors up to kind of fact check me on this, but I'm gonna try to remember as much of this as possible. So Major League Baseball has a proposal where they are trying to bring the playoffs up from 5 teams in each league to 7. Am I right there?
Yes.
Okay. So bringing it up to 7 teams, that means that will be your 3 division winners and 4 wild card teams. So that is almost half of the teams in the major leagues that have a chance to be in the playoffs. You have your 3 division winners who are going to chill basically during the wild card rounds. The wild card is supposed to be a series instead of just one game. Am I right there?
Yes. 3 games.
Okay. So we got a 3-game set for these wild card series. After those series are over, the 2 and 3 seed apparently would get to pick the winner of those series, or basically who they want to play while the number 1 seed is chilling still. Do I have that right too?
Yeah.
So Patrick, well,
It's a 2-round. If you're the number 1 ranked team, which they're going by best record, you get to sit out 2 rounds.
they get a double bye in essence.
I mean, they don't say anything about the number 1 seed getting to keep the bye in the second round because they could get picked. Which is what when I'm sitting here reading it as you're going, because some of it, like, so the way it's looking is like you have 2 wild card games, 2 in the NL, 2 in the AL, while the 3 divisionals chill. The winner of the 2 wild cards are going to hang out, while the 2nd seed and the 3rd seed get to pick of those 3 teams, because it doesn't say that the first gets to get a bye on the second round. It just says while the 2nd and 3rd teams get to pick their games. So they could initially pick the number 1 seed team, is what it looks like.
Oh, well, wow. It's a lot. It seems like a lot to unpack there. Let me just get your thoughts on the whole proposal, Patrick. I mean, you're the baseball guy, so I want to hear your thoughts before I chime in with my thoughts. What do you think about the overall proposal, and do you think it's something that could happen? And even if there's any changes you would like to see, let us know.
All right. First of all, 7 teams and 7 in each. That's too many. I mean, that's 45% of the entire league is going to the playoffs. So I mean, almost we're starting to hand out participation trophies at this point. That's ridiculous. 1, 2. How do you fix your pitching rotation in this? I mean, that's the first thing that comes to my head. I mean, like, that's a lot of I don't know, man. That pitching rotation is going to be. I mean, they're going to put a lot of emphasis on pitching at that point, throughout the rest of throughout the season. 14 teams. I mean, I think it's pretty interesting that you get to pick your the second and third seeds get to pick their games. But initially, this is too much baseball. This is too much baseball. I mean, I thought MLB made the right step into making a playoff, like an extra game for a playoff, but make that a 3-game series. I think this is where we need to stop. Just make the little what do I call it? I can't think of
the play in garbage.
Yeah, the scrimmage. That's what I call it.
Yeah, the scrimmage. Yeah.
Make that scrimmage game a 3-game series and let it be. I don't know. Maybe add another playoff, or maybe add another playoff team into each. So instead of having no, take that back. Take that back. Just leave it the way it is. Leave it the way it is, and make that series that first round series a 3-game series, and leave it as is. This is too much baseball, man.
Yeah, I think with these changes that are being proposed. So I'll say this about Major League Baseball, huh?
It'll make the Yankees happy.
Oh God, but I think I'll give this credit to Major League Baseball. It seems like the commissioner Rob Manfred is looking at the demographics that's going on. He understands football right now is king of this country, and if there's any way they could use to spice up what they are doing and trying to make improvements, or try to make improvements to what they are doing in terms of the product on the field, then it looks like they're willing to do that. You never really saw any ideas or anything like that with Bud Selig in there. They were just kind of just there. It said, I feel like, and you know how I feel about Bud Selig. I feel like he is the worst commissioner that has ever walked the face of the earth. And the dude did nothing about nothing. Terrible commissioner to me. But we have the new guy in Rob Manfred, and it looks like he's trying to be a little bit progressive. Now, in regards to these changes that are being proposed, the only thing I would do is what you said about the wild card part. Make that a series, because I just feel like playing 162 games and then having that end after one game. I mean, that could be anything. It could be a hard hit ball that bounces off of third base or first base or something, and then that's the difference between you winning and losing, and your series is over. And we've seen teams that have won 90, 95 games go home after a wild card game.
Last year, the Milwaukee Brewers go home after 94 wins, all because right fielder
booted the ball. Yeah, booted the ball. And I just feel like that's just tough, man. I mean, I get why people do like it, simply because of the whole one game, anything can happen scenario. But I just think baseball goes too long for it to just end on a game like that. That just has that to me, that has to be a series. Other than that, Patrick, I'm pretty much with you. I don't think they need to change the format. If anything, I guess maybe you might think about adding a team to where it's 12 and not 14, which is basically half of your league. But like you said, even with that, you get down with participation trophies, and that's not what you're trying to do there. So basically, yeah, I say stay as it is, except for the wild card part. That's what I'm
it's this format. Too much. There's too many moving parts. There's too much, and you're putting the game into players' hands. And I mean, seeing what the Washington Nationals did last year, picking your team is like picking your death. Let MLB just do what they do, and top seed versus low seed, and roll with it. And it is what it is. This is too much. I mean, there's don't get me wrong, there's a few things I like about it. Like, I mean, getting to pick your team, okay, I guess. I think the most interesting part is having 2 wild card games in each division. I think that's the most interesting thing. But just let the 2 wild card teams that make it, let them have a 3-game series and move forward and let it be.
All right, man. Well, it looks like we pretty much agree there, man. Do you have anything else to add before we move on to the next topic?
No, that was actually a pretty easy topic.
All right, see, there you go. That's what's up. All right, I mean, hey, I try to make them, pretty cut and dry there.
Sometimes you do. Sometimes we'll ramble.
Hey, man, we gotta get into the complications of it too. So we'll move on to the next topic then, and this one's about the XFL. So, Patrick, I don't know if you got to check out any of the games in the XFL, but the XFL made their return after their botched return 2 decades ago. Now, I can tell you, Patrick, I watched a couple of the games, and I must say, according to how things were going just for the first week, we'll see how things progress. But I was surprised. I was pleasantly surprised by the product they put out there. Looked like the crowds were into it. The quality of the football was actually pretty good. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say they're going to replace the NFL, and we'll get into more of that here in a little bit. But from what I saw, I think there are some things that the NFL could actually use, such as things with the kickoff, where you got the kickoff teams pretty much starting 5 yards across from each other. And then as soon as the guy catches it, the returner catches it, then bam, you can blast them. Because the NFL kickoff is just garbage. You just kick it off and then it's booted into the back of the end zone and nothing ever happens. But
that is just a 100-yard dash. That's all that is.
That's it. And then you have the access where they can talk to the players after a play happens. They're kind of trying to just bring some different aspects to it. Overall, I think it could be okay. Of course, we'll see how things progress. But I guess I'll just ask you, Patrick, if you were able to watch any of the games this week, and do you see the XFL possibly lasting a season or 2 seasons or 3 seasons, or how do you see the future of the XFL materializing?
Well, first of all, I did catch a couple of games. It was just in passing. I had a pretty busy weekend this weekend with some things that happened. But I was pleasantly surprised as well. Truthfully, this may come to a surprise to you, but I mean, personally, I think the XFL is here to stay this time. Personally, and don't get me wrong, I think that the way that they're putting it together and the things that they're trying to bring into light and how some of the plays are even being played. Don't get it wrong, man. XFL could possibly take a huge fan base from the NFL because it is a little more physical. And that's what a lot of people are missing about the NFL is the physicality. Because like you said it for years, man. We're one rule away from this being flag football in the NFL, and at least the XFL is bringing a little bit more physicality to the table. And then there's people like Colin Kaepernick who wants $10.6 million just to play.
Yeah, he's not getting that from the XFL, man. That's come on.
Yeah. But I mean, I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, if they can make a few minor tweaks to their overall product, I can see them taking a huge fan base from the NFL. I would watch them a lot more than the NFL.
So the funny thing about what you just said is you're actually not the first person who has said I like the XFL more than the NFL. It's actually more football than the NFL, just simply because the NFL has become so politicized. It's become so quote unquote, and I say quote unquote because I think everything is a money grab for the NFL, but they want to try to act like they're so worried about player safety. Yeah, that's another rant. It's another rant.
We'll say that XFL is not here for for player safety. I can tell you that. Not from what I saw.
Yeah, and I mean, they have in terms of the safety equipment and stuff. I mean, I'm sure they have the most upgrades for it, but I mean, I think they're more geared toward letting the players play.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, like not trying to put everything in the hands of questionabilities. So like one of those things where if you see a hit that could be borderline, I'll just throw the flag just to play it safe. That's what the NFL tells their refs to do. Here in the XFL, at least according to the first week and how things have been going, it looks like these players are going to have every opportunity to decide the game. The refs they seem more in touch with the game. They just seem more enthused. They seem more decisive if they are gonna make a call. It's not one of these. I don't know.
Because it's not a borderline call. They're saying if it happens, call it. If you see it, call it. But if it did not happen, don't call it. I mean, I like it. I like it because it's going to bring a more physicality to my personal favorite side of the ball is the defense. I mean, don't get me wrong. I the targeting rule is in place in the XFL, but I mean, you can't target if a player happens to sidestep with the ball, and now all of a sudden you're leading with the crown of your helmet because he sidestepped. They're not calling that in the XFL. I mean, I saw one game this weekend where the guy got twisted around and was pulled around like this, and he got slammed into the guy. And if this was the NFL, it would have been targeting. But since he got pulled around, they didn't call it. I liked it. I mean, he wasn't trying to lead with his helmet. He had his head to the side. It's just the way he got slung around. I like it. I enjoyed it.
You know, Patrick, one thing I will say is in terms of the future of the XFL, I guess it would depend on how Vince McMahon wants to look at this, but I think the XFL could act as something like a minor league system to the NFL. Now, again, this would be all on how Vince McMahon wants to look at this if he is out there kind of trying to compete with the NFL and try to take some of that fan base from it. But I think just simply because you see a lot of NFL players or people who have played in the NFL in the XFL now, and then the what was it, the Alliance of American Football before that lasted 6 weeks last year, and then it went bankrupt. But you saw um, a good amount of NFL players or former NFL players in there. So for a guy like Cardale Jones, the quarterback for the DC Defenders now, I mean, he was in the NFL, drafted by the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, maybe he looks at this as an opportunity to try to get back into the pros, and you're getting the exposure. You have your television contracts with Fox and ESPN. So from a television standpoint and a marketing standpoint, looks like the XFL has things a little bit better together than what the AF had last year. And so yeah, the AF. I mean, that's exactly that. That's what the initials say. So that's what I'm gonna call them. AF.
No. Okay. Well, that was a horrible. I watched one game of that, and I was actually didn't watch the whole game.
But even that football wasn't that bad, though, was it? I didn't think it was.
I'd watch the NFL over that.
All right.
To me, it seemed like a bunch of older people, like trying to relive their high school dreams.
That's all of us to a point, right?
Well, you know. I guess we all trying to get paid to play sports.
but no, man, I do think there is a future here for the XFL. And I guess, again, it just depends on how Vince McMahon wants to look at it. But I could definitely see the XFL becoming something like a minor league system to the NFL if that's the route they want to go in. even if they didn't do that, though, according to week one, the season is young. We'll see how things going. But dude, I can I can sort out a little bit of time to catch an XFL game from based off of what I saw this first week. I could exactly. I definitely could.
Yeah.
So, well, all right. Well, see, very quick. We agree. Let's go. Well, all right, Patrick. Well, here's a topic that we might not agree on, or a topic that you will at least definitely get boiled up over. LeBron James, baby. LeBron James, LBJ. Let's talk a little bit about the Lakers. We haven't really talked about them yet for the year. But Patrick, look, you was going to talk about them in a shorty because LeBron was going to do something and you was going to blow it up. So don't act like the time wasn't coming. But
Yeah, it's probably going to be about these Olympic things that he's
yeah, I heard
may or
that.
may not play in.
Yeah, I heard that too. Ugh. But
I
but
don't think he needs to play in.
But let's talk about the Lakers and the prospects. So here we go, Patrick. The All-Star break will be Sunday. As it stands right now, the Lakers are in first place in the Western Conference. I think going into Tuesday, they were 3 games up on the Denver Nuggets for the top seed in the Western Conference. So cut and dry, very simple. What do you think the Lakers' prospects of winning a title is if you think they're not 0? So we'll just go there. We'll just go with that.
Well, I mean, dude, they're like 40-12. I mean, I think that this team is good enough to win a title. There's a lot of teams that stand in their way. Clippers, Nuggets,
Utah coming up.
Utah coming up. Well, you don't have to worry about the Warriors. That's for sure.
Oh gosh. Yeah, the Warriors might be nasty next year, though. We'll see.
Oh yeah, they might be really nasty next year. Well, you got the Bucks, Raptors, Celtics. Past that, I really don't see anything in the Eastern Conference.
No, what about Philly?
What about Philly?
All right, cool. Move on. I just want to throw that in there. All right.
I'll go with the Heat before I go with Philly.
That's actually not a bad choice. The Heat playing pretty good.
No, it's fine. I mean, I give them a shot. I do give them a shot. I'm not going to sit here and say that they're a slam dunk win for a national or a title.
NBA championship. Yeah.
But I will say that, I mean, they have a hell of a team, man. I mean, they really do. I think they could be a lot better. You got a lot of ball hogs on the team. Rondo, James, of course. Well, I say that, but James is really not a ball hog. It's the one thing he is actually not. AD. I mean, everybody wants the points, and you call it a glamour stat. I agree with you. It's what it is. It's a glamour stat. But I mean, if I was to put a percentage on it, I think 40-45% chance that they could take home the title.
Yeah, the Lakers have a good. I agree with you. I think they have a pretty good chance. I'll say this though. I think this is gonna sound funny. Yeah, you'll probably like it when I say this. I think they have a good shot. I don't think they'll win a title because I think, well, LeBron's gonna hold them back.
Oh. Yeah, that 45% chance that they have to win, that's if LeBron gets the flu and doesn't show up for a week.
Well, I think he's going to hold them back on the court, Patrick, because here's the thing. LeBron, we know we don't think he's a selfish player. I mean, he's very he's definitely happy with passing the ball. He can pass the ball. Not too many people have the vision he has, and we'll admit that. But the thing with LeBron is he does have to have the ball in his hands to get the max potential out of him. the Lakers have enough people to where he does not have to handle the ball all the time. So I say that because if he thinks he's going to be able to go the route he has been used to going uh, with those days in Cleveland and even some of those days down in Miami, the Lakers aren't winning it. They won't. They will not beat good teams like the Clippers, like the Nuggets, or if they are able to get to the NBA Finals, a potential matchup with the Milwaukee Bucks or Toronto Raptors or whoever comes out of the Eastern Conference. I just don't think him holding the ball and trying to go 1-on-5, that's not going to work. Or as a matter of fact, you can go back to Thursday's game that they lost to the Houston Rockets, and he just continuously stayed out there to shoot threes. And LeBron has never been that great of a 3-point shooter. He can get streaky, he can get hot, I guess, but he's never been that good of a 3-point shooter. He's still, I mean, last time I checked, he's still 6'8", 260 pounds. Go inside.
Yeah.
But I think part of that is because he doesn't really like going to the foul line. He's not a good foul shooter. He's about 72, 73% for his career. So, I mean,
and it's only he had those two huge runs with Miami that he actually shot over 85%.
Yeah. So personally, to me, if he's going to go that route, no, the Lakers won't win it. And I know people would say, oh, well, it's LeBron. Anytime you have LeBron, you always have a chance. Well, you had him last year. You didn't make the playoffs.
What happened there?
So that's not necessarily true as it has been, or as true as it has been in previous years. So I do think, look, people can say, well, if we bring another ball handler, we bring another scorer, that's going to help LeBron. Well, LeBron got to want that help. That's the thing. He has to show it through his actions instead of saying, well, we didn't get Anthony Davis here, so we wouldn't run the offense through him if we didn't get him here. Yeah, but the offense is still going to run through you, LeBron. We're not stupid. So
how many more shooters can you put on a team?
And so with the Lakers squad though, they don't really have the consistent outside threat. Now they have guys who are streaky.
They don't have the money to pay for it.
No, you're right.
$40 million to AD, and you pay another $40 million to James, and then who's got 18 on that team?
No, you're right, Patrick. Yeah, I'm not debating that, but I'm just saying that, like, based on their current roster, they don't really have that, and they really couldn't do that because, like you said, they didn't have the resources to trade out there for them. Now maybe they could sign someone on that mid-level exception, but I know, right? Yo, I'll do it. Yeah.
Hey, all I require is $250,000 a year.
That's it. Yes.
And I'll put James in his place.
I will serve so much water. But
bro, give me water and some powder. I'll slap crap out of LeBron James every time he gets an attitude. Like Mario Chalmers.
So yeah, but that's so. I mean, we're basically on the same page with the Lakers. Like I said, I feel like LeBron can hold them back, and I know the LeBron fans are gonna see this and they're gonna be like, "Hey, here you go, you're hating on him." I'm like, nah, look, man, facts are facts, man. Sorry, your dude's not that hot. He is getting older. It's just that simple. He is getting older, and if he feels like he can carry this load against a loaded Western Conference, it's not happening. He needs help. And he has to be willing to play without the ball in his hands. That's the key. There's plenty of other people on the Lakers who can make plays. If LeBron wants to extend his career like he'll have you believe, then don't have the ball in your hands as many times. Just cut off of those other dudes, and the game will come a little bit easier for you instead of you having the ball in your hands all the time. So
settle for 25 to 28 points a game instead of having to make 35 to 40.
Exactly. So, Patrick, let's move on to the last topic we have. So this is about the Dallas Cowboys and the contract.
I make this one quick, man.
Huh?
I make this one quick. We at 30.
Nah, we're never good. But I guess we're a little bit over this. So we'll be all right. We're close. We're getting there. But yeah, but I guess real quick, We will talk about the Dallas Cowboys and the contract negotiations going on with quarterback Dak Prescott. So a lot of people believe, or from what I've heard, they're far apart on this deal. I guess from what I heard, Dak's looking up to around, I don't know, 35 to 40 million per year. The Cowboys aren't trying to give him that. So, Patrick, I'll just jump in. I'll just have my thoughts real quick. I think he's getting franchise tag. I don't think they're going to come up with the deal. I know people want to try to make these comparisons with the deal the Philadelphia Eagles gave to Carson Wentz and the deal the LA Rams gave to Jared Goff, where Wentz is making $32 million per year. I think Goff is around $34 million per year. And yeah, you can make the argument Dak should make those numbers along with those guys. I guess you could make that argument, but the situation is the situation. Philly, they believed in Dak Prescott. Or, excuse me, they believe in Carson Wentz. The Rams believe in Jared Goff. That's why they gave him the deal. Apparently, Dallas does not, or at least not in that way where they want to give him a deal yet. And when it came to the moment of truth, because people will sit there and say, oh, well, Dak put up these ridiculous stats this year. Again, Patrick, I'm going to go with my saying. Numbers never lie, but they don't always tell the whole truth. And in the moments of truth, Dak Prescott came up short. I'll name the games. And against the New England Patriots, Dallas scored 9 points, didn't get in the end zone. Against Philadelphia, when the NFC East was on the line, that game in Philadelphia, again, 9 points, did not get in the end zone. They played the New Orleans Saints, another huge game they had this year. They scored 10 points, one time in the end zone. And then on Thanksgiving against Buffalo, that game was over before the end of the third quarter. They were down 26-7. They didn't show up there. And then Carson Wentz, when they needed him to step up, he stepped up with a much lesser supporting cast. And then he was on the NFC East. So, look, I like Dak. I do. I like Dak Prescott as a quarterback. And I think he can do some good things. But if we're going to call an apple and an orange,
which we
do, he did not step up in the big moments. He just didn't. And also, those other teams, like I said just a little bit ago, they believed in him, so they gave him the deal. Dallas doesn't necessarily believe in him, or they would have had the deal there. So again, apple and apple, orange and orange. You can't call an apple an orange or a square a circle.
No, you can.
Yeah, we can. Well, we can, but we'd be lying to ourselves if we did. So what's your thoughts?
Well, I do want to add one thing about that New Orleans Saints game. Dallas was in the red zone 5 times in that game as well. just so everybody understands what that means. He threw 3 interceptions in that game. And I agree with you. But I don't think Dak stays in Dallas.
Okay, all right, interesting. Where he's do you
right?
No, dude. You know you sound.
I'm playing.
Okay.
No, there's too many good. There's a lot of good quarterbacks coming out in the draft this year. That I feel would fit that offense a lot better. So I think Dallas is going to start. I think Dallas is looking for a trade. I think Dallas looks for a trade. They get a couple of, maybe some defensive players for Dak, put Dak in another uniform and go for somebody like Braun.
And that's definitely a possibility as well. I mean, I see a franchise tag. I think they're gonna tag him, man.
I would be surprised if they do. They don't want to give him no money. And then
not like that.
Not over 30. I mean, he could stay somewhere around 22, 24, somewhere like that. But like you said, man, he doesn't step up in the right time. He doesn't step up in the games that they need him the most. So with that being said, I think Dak's in another uniform next year.
Hmm. All right. I mean, I have heard that a few times come from a few people. Um, I I still say that he will be with the Cowboys. I think they're gonna want to see because they did get a new head coach in, so I think they want to try to at least see what he could do. And if I'm Dak, honestly, this is just me. Yeah, look, play on that franchise tag. If you get franchise tag, play on the tag. Number one, this is way more money than you've gotten in your whole career. Now, granted, he has a lot of endorsements. So, I mean, I know he's making some money there. But in terms of an NFL contract, you are down around, I don't know, 2.5, 3 million, whatever it is, which that's plenty of money for me. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm trying to have that type of money too. But in NFL quarterback standards, not a whole lot. So you're trying to see like if you get a franchise tag, that's going to be in excess of 33, 34 million right there, just based off the market value. Play on the franchise tag and prove yourself. Bet on yourself, and then you'll get a deal. If it's not with Dallas, then it'd be somewhere else. Just as
Cleveland.
simple to me. I mean, the 32, 33 million dollars on a franchise tag, you can sign me on 10 franchise tags. I don't care. You can sign me on that one alone. Yeah.
At the same time, you want to franchise tag me 10 times? I'll go out
Yeah.
and throw. I'll go out and throw 12 interceptions in a game, or 6.
I mean that's just me, man. And I know people are like, well, people want the long-term security, blah blah. You can create security with 32, 33 million for a year.
Oh
You
yeah, I
could create
create
a lot of
security.
security with that. Yeah.
Give me
And
500,000, I'll create some security.
yeah,
Watch.
exactly. Yeah, that's like long-term
Man,
security.
oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do if I can't afford my $4.9 million home, bro. I got a $290,000 home. I'll freaking live in that. I'm good.
Yeah.
You can only sleep in one bed
Yeah, exactly. You can't be at 7 homes at once.
unless
So
your dog is that big, and then you can put it in another room.
so
Mine's not, so
so yeah, if you did, but if he does get franchise tagged, I just play on it. Like I wouldn't go in there. I wouldn't hold out or anything like that.
don't
Look,
fight it. It's
yeah,
$30 million a year, bro.
right. Play on the tag and just bet on yourself, and we'll see what we do with a new head coach, new system, well, practically new system. I guess they're keeping the offensive coordinator, but um,
It's not going to go far. And that's another reason why I don't think Dak's going to hang around too long, because he's not successful in the system he's in, and they're keeping the same offensive coach or offensive coordinator. So I don't see him staying around.
all right, man. Well, it'll be interesting to see how everything goes. And of course, everybody knows we'll be back on here to talk about it, whichever one happens. And, we have no problems admitting when we're wrong, but we'll also tell you when we're right, too.
Oh
So,
yeah, when I'm right, bro, everybody's hearing it. I'm wrong, everybody's hearing it, but that's from you.
well, that will wrap up this edition of the Breath of Fresh Air webcast. Everybody, like I said at the beginning, make sure you check this episode and the other shorties and episodes on the Breath of Fresh Air YouTube channel if you want to catch up with what we have been doing. And of course, smash that subscribe button. Also, continue to keep those likes coming on the Facebook page. We appreciate everything that has been said and the likes and the subscribers we have gotten on both of those pages. So keep everything coming, keep the feedback coming. We will respond to you, good, bad, or indifferent, and it don't matter. So, other than that, am I missing anything? Am I missing anything?
No, you covered it all, man. You got it.
Well, all right. Well, everybody, we hope you enjoyed the show. Take care, and we will talk to you soon.
Now we wait for 5 minutes before it stops.
Exactly.